Oh, when they had Craig on. Okay.
In October,
Friday at 11 a.m. Central.
tens of thousands of subscribe to this
Yo,
channel.
I know that guy.
2024.
Doing the buttons and sound live and
Hey, Chad, I know that guy.
Since almost in over percent. After Dobbs, it drops down to 59%, 57, and as of 2024, 50%, meaning she's gone fully just straight down the middle.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that we noticed in these recent rulings is that she seems to contradict herself. Not just her, but the court itself is strange. For instance, they ruled Donald Trump could not fire the head of the Federal Reserve because it's an independent agency. But then they also ruled that Donald Trump could fire the head of any independent agency.
That guy kind of looks like Stuttering Craig from Side Scrollers.
Case, which makes literally no sense. Unless the Federal Reserve is some kind of special entity that operates outside the law, I guess.
Where's Ian when you need him?
Where's Ian? But there are other issues as well, and you can see it plain as day. I don't need to go through every single ruling, but on the issue of the 14th Amendment, her arguments, at least in my opinion, her opinion that she issued seemed to make no sense, arguing that there was fear back in the 1800s that without a set day for the election, it could lead to a second civil war. Indeed, my friends, in 1872, we were on the verge of the Civil War breaking out again. In 1876, a committee decided who would be president. There were concerns that because elections were being held randomly or just different times in different states, you could exploit the time or day of an election to make sure certain voting blocks would not come out.
He does look like him crazy, right?
If you don't want farmers to vote, you say election day is the day of harvest or one of the most important times of harvest. So the farmers are going to say, are you kidding? We're working 24/7 doing the we can't vote now. So Congress ultimately ends up passing a law to which she acknowledged, but then said, so what? Who cares? It seemed like she was arguing against herself, probably because after the Dobbs decision, before and after, you had massive death threats. You had someone trying to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh. And then we get this. Amy Coney Barrett giving emotional testimony about the moment her son saw her bulletproof vest.
Thank you, Justice Kagan. How the volume and nature
this year and those
microphone, please.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
And those statistics sound abstract, but being on the receiving end of them is not. So I thought I would just share a little bit about how the threats have affected me and my family personally.
Okay.
They have required me to, my children, to think about and see things that children should not have to see or think about. One example is when threats to my life were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom.
Okay.
I wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond because maybe I lack imagination, but I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me, in your infinite wisdom as a judge, that you couldn't have possibly saw a situation in which you would need to protect yourself from people that are mad at your decisions? What? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me? You didn't think that taking a position that's a lifetime appointment in which you have a large amount of power to influence the political landscape, you didn't think that like people might come for your life or threaten you to get you to vote the right way? Okay, well, hold on. Is she saying she did it? Wait, hold on, wait. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it.
If your 12-year-old son did not know what a bulletproof vest was, then you must keep him locked in the basement or under a rock.
Well, no, and if your kid doesn't know what a bulletproof vest is, you should fucking tell them what it is. Holy shit.
I'm sure he's seen John Wick. I'm sure he's played Fortnite or Call of Duty.
Yeah, just tell him. It's like, son, you know when you drink the chug jug or the blue potion and it protects your HP? It's kind of like that. You know, it's kind of like #1 Victory Royale.
Grand Theft Auto. Or literally watched any movie
ever
at any
I'm
point.
about to get down.
The ignorance of that statement, though, the idea that she would say, I just didn't know the gravity of being a justice on the Supreme Court.
This guy really looks and sounds like Craig.
I didn't think
resign.
that people would be really
From
upset.
side-scrollers.
I agree. If you don't, if you can't handle the heat, you get out of the kitchen, right?
She was after Kavanaugh, right? She was an appointment after Kavanaugh, right?
Yeah, and I don't mean to be mean or dismissive or rude. I understand. Like we had someone drive by and shoot at this property too. I fully
It is Craig. It is Craig. I'm just trolling.
understand the threats, bro. Let me tell you a crazy story. Y'all know I was just spending last week at the World Series of Poker. One of the pros that played published a story. He said that after he cashed out, because he had something like $80,000 in prizes, he went back to his Airbnb, said 2 black dudes were waiting for him. They knew they were tracking him, hog-tied him, and stole all of his stuff.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about that.
And that's just, the guy's got 1,000 followers. Nobody knows who he is outside of the poker world.
I know why they did this. You know why this happened? Chat? Sage Money. It's actually all my fault. It's actually all my fault. We had armor back in Unreal Tournament 2000. It was like it had gore fun game. Yeah, this is actually my fault. I put them out of work. That's why. I put those riggers out of work. That's what happened. My bad.
It's not
They
a very
needed the
big
money.
world. I fully recognize. I have 2 bodyguards with me all the time walking around. And I'm not going to explain the degree of security that they're, capable, but let's just say they are very capable individuals. And then I've also got my posse, because you
Yeah,
gotta
they're probably VTuber riggers. Mad at me because of the Angel Sword system. South for Ages, thank you so much for the bit. Thank you. I thought Craig's name was Craig Side Scrollers, not. Yeah, I think it's
posse,
Side
right?
Scrollers. I
I'm
think
half
that's
kidding.
it. Yeah.
But the reason why celebrities walk around with big groups of people, it's not always just because they're rich and their friends cling to their asses. It's because my friends are also de facto security. We're a big group. We're not going to get screwed around with. I understand being in this line of work is dangerous. Amy Coney Barrett, if you think the threat is too great and you are issuing rulings that are tepid, weak, and bad for this country, you need to resign right now.
100%. 100% agree with Timmy. Like, dude, you cannot be a Supreme Court justice, and then if the left threatens you, you fold. That's ridiculous. That's not why you're there.
On the Supreme Court, and I got a bulletproof vest, and I got plates and
I
stuff.
host a podcast
I have a bulletproof vest.
about video games, and I get death threats on a day-to-day basis because
Dude, same, man.
I know what a man is.
True.
That's
Fucking
forbidden
tell 'em.
knowledge.
Right.
on the
Tell
internet.
'em,
You can't
stuttering
actually know.
Craig.
Now, and this is
Tell 'em,
listen, I
homie.
get what she's going through here. We have tried to plan events for our company multiple times, but
This is 100% true, by the way. Like, Craig has been trying. He's been trying to actually do stuff, make conventions, make events. It's just that hard. It's so much more expensive.
the reality is that whenever we try to produce any sort of event anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States, we have to account for way more security than a traditional event would because of
So true.
silliness like that.
Yep.
And I mean, I just go back to that statement. Yeah, the Fortnite thing and the body armor thing, that's insane, right? But the fact that
Just tell him it's a plot.
she was naive at the idea of being a Supreme Court justice wasn't going to be, there weren't going to be threats associated with that.
It didn't used to be.
You're
But it
right.
goes
It
to show
doesn't
that
fucking matter, man.
she has not been paying attention. And I'm just, I get headaches from this because I'm the Civil War guy. You know what I mean? Always screaming like things are getting crazy.
It's Civil War.
And, as of right now, I'd argue, I don't exactly know where things are going because it looks like the crushing of USAID may have been like the right may have routed the left infrastructure to the degree where they're getting pushed back to an insane degree, like where are the riots at? With that being said, to look at the Dobbs decision, the leak, they put up fences around the Supreme Court. They're banging and screaming during Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings, and she's not even Googling it. That's offensive to me. Like, she knew exactly what they did to Kavanaugh in terms of accusing him of being a gang rapist, as well as trying to bash the doors down. And then with the Dobbs decision, she's like, "Oh heavens me, I'm so shocked this is happening."
What was she? She like a prosecutor before she took the bench? What did she do before that?
I thought she was a federal judge, right?
A federal.
I think she was a judge.
So like she worked in law, then she went on to be a judge. I mean, my guess is that she was very career minded, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that so few people get, that she underestimated just how much security and how dangerous it was going to be.
Being a federal judge isn't
Yeah.
exactly a safe position.
Yeah,
She was on the-
exactly.
You're not immune to violence.
She was on the 7th Circuit for U.S. Court of Appeals from 2017 to
Federal
2020.
judge.
And prior to that, she was a law professor at Notre Dame.
Okay.
And now I look, we've talked about it with all of her rulings. In the past couple of years, she may as well be a liberal. And we're left flabbergasted. What did we say 2 weeks ago? She got swatted in May and then issues these placid, moderate rulings with the most pathetic of opinions that she may as well have not even issued an opinion at all, and contradicts herself. And I'm like, clearly getting swatted has her shaking in her high heels.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to be mean. If my child is not even that old, but I could not imagine your 12-year-old child opening the door to a wall of police, probably screaming, hands in the air, this kid freaking out. And we've heard stories. There was that one story, I think it was like Oklahoma or whatever, where a guy got swatted, opens his door with his gun in his hand, they shoot and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was another story I saw where cops were responding to a domestic, and they're banging on the door, and they're at the wrong house. So they're just banging on the door. It's two guys. There's no lights, nothing. Banging this guy's door like 3 a.m. He opens the door with his gun in his hand, and they unload on him. Innocent guy at his own house. So what is she thinking right now? Even if the left doesn't come to actually try and assassinate or anything like that, how many more times will she get swatted? What can she do?
Yeah,
So they're here now asking for an increase in security. And, look, man, I'm sorry. She should resign.
It's untenable.
I agree.
Like if it's that bad now, it's only going to get worse. It's not like it's something like you could make the argument that maybe when her kids are old enough to move out of the house, maybe she has a little bit more of a laissez-faire attitude towards it when it's
Dude,
just her.
Her job requires her to make the right decision, and if you're swayed because you're afraid for your safety, that's crazy. You can't be, even if you have a kid, you can't be using that in that office. Maybe you shouldn't be a judge then. Like, just being honest. Like, I could say so
Her
much
and
right now.
her husband, but doubtful, right? So it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, and I mean there aren't any actual cases that I'm aware of that are as volatile as Dobbs, and she kind of ducked the 14th Amendment question that was here. There is the rifle ban that'll come up next year, but I don't think that would set anyone off the way that the Dobbs decision did. But that doesn't mean that something couldn't present itself,
Isn't it amazing, though, to see whenever there's going to be a ruling and you know which way it's going to go based off of whether the fence is up or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That really says a
Yeah.
lot about this. And also, it's interesting that she would be demanding more security while there being less security in the United States,
Yeah.
for people coming in and voting. It's amazing to see. And
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has to see the hypocrisy in this.
Yeah, I mean the whole idea of her needing or requesting more security, I don't think that actually is going to have any kind of effect on her voting, right? Like just because she has more security doesn't mean that she's going to be like, oh, now I feel at ease to vote my conscience or vote what I actually think the
Dude, the
law
fact that it's
says.
even in
I think
question is ridiculous.
She probably wants more security for her family and stuff, but if she still knows that if she were to vote in a way that inflamed the left, then they would still make a target of her. And even if you have security, it doesn't make you immune to intimidation. It doesn't make you immune to attacks. So
There have been a lot of people who have had security that are no longer with us.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
case in point, I think it was
So true.
yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of the attack in Butler, Pennsylvania, and someone almost shot Donald Trump, and he has what arguably the best security in the world.
Until they don't want to be.
Doesn't that it was only 2 years. Butler, Pennsylvania feels like it was 10 years ago.
Well, like I said,
I mean, there was that one lady, the one Secret Service lady.
The problem ultimately is trying to be this middle of the road, please leave me alone, makes everyone hate you.
Yeah.
So she hasn't got to come out and scream, TradCon revolution and start rubber stamping every, right-wing policy and screeching to the left. But she can be reasonable and correct and just say, look, if as that chart showed, 81% of the time she was the conservatives, and that was acceptable. Most people are like, okay, like you're not going to win every single one, and you get upset about some. But when she's playing this 50-50 middle of the road, the left hates her. They're not going to stop. That's just it. They're not going to stop. And now she'll have no support because this is what people do, and it's so pathetic. They play this game of I'm just going to duck and keep my head down, and maybe it'll all go away.
Yep.
No, what you're basically saying
because
is,
what you're saying is shoot the next person instead. That's dude. It's actually
left is
so
never gonna stop.
ridiculous.
and
Yeah, it makes it so that it makes them think that their tactics are actually effective, which means down the line for your own personal safety, you are sacrificing a future person. You're sacrificing multiple future people.
you also don't want to have a support group behind you who agrees with you and would protect you. So, okay, you should resign. She should resign. Well,
yeah,
you know what? It's not
exactly.
going to happen. Nothing's
it's
going to
too
happen.
much, you should
We're going to
just-
get these
you
weak
just quit.
people. This is it, I said if Donald Trump doesn't do something about the elections and the corruption, he's Buchanan. But our whole government is full of Buchanans. We got like 89% Buchanans and very few Lincolns. Clarence Thomas is a Lincoln. He's a guy who's like, we're going to do what's got to get. And Alito as well. Trump, I would argue that the verdict's out on Trump. We'll see what he says Thursday. But I will respect his bringing in Bill Pulte. So he's doing more than nothing. And getting rid of USAID was a nuclear bomb in this culture war. So I got to give him that.
Do you think that's why there have been no riots? Do you
Yeah,
catch
actually,
that?
yeah, I do.
Soros is busy right now.
It's not about Soros. It's that USAID was funneling money. Where was all this money coming from? I would not be surprised. Look, it's just kind of weird that USAID goes tits up and now there's no riots for the first time in, 20 years?
I just
Bro,
figured
I've been involved in protests going back to 2006 with with W. Bush. Every single summer there were protests. Now there's just none? What happened?
Is there a story this summer specifically that you felt was really going to lead to riots that didn't? Is it the stuff with ICE mostly?
Just the guy that got killed
Yeah.
yesterday.
Well, we've had more than one, multiple, and we got these little bitty protests. Where's the national rising up? And people are like, it's too hot out. It's not hot in Los Angeles. It's 69 degrees. That's a major urban
Plus,
center.
then they just
Where
go
are the
out at night.
protests?
Yeah,
They
and
just go out at
I don't
night.
believe that too hot is a thing. Like
Yeah.
they go out at night.
Too cold.
Too cold,
Yeah, go out
definitely.
at
And look what happened earlier this year, right? I imagine there was still residual money left over, and you had people out in Minnesota in the freezing cold, real freezing cold.
Dude, I was like, when I was making my food earlier, I was thinking about it. You know that thing that God, what was his name again? Sam Hyde said about how they want to fucking kill you. It's actually so true. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, this guy. It's like almost everything he says is true.
And there's just no appetite for it now. And I
haven't watched
tend
him
to agree
enough.
with
I
Tim.
feel like I
you
should.
put something in the Slack today, and that was my first question. I was like, do you think that it's
like
because
not
you-
only do they want to kill you, but like they want to kill you, and they would laugh. They would laugh at your death. Basically, it's like the kind of people that we're up against, right?
USAID, if they don't have the funding to bus people in, because Tim's talked about tourists,
But it's not even about that. It's about organizing. It's about making a flyer and saying, hey, come here at this time.
Having it ready to go
Yep.
when it's time to use it immediately right then.
So here's the thing. I've heard for decades where they're like Soros-funded protesters, and these protesters don't get paid. However, there's like 7 people who do, who put the flyers up at the universities, who go on social media, who go around and tell everybody to show up, and then people start showing up. But without those organizers, nobody shows
What's
up
up,
because there's
fella?
nothing to show up to.
Yep.
Just figured bad economy, all of the pallet of brick companies are just out of business.
It's amazing how many bricks just showed up on the side of the road and during the summer of love. Back to Barrett real quick. I don't think anybody would really be upset if she was to say, look, this was too much for me. I
Thanks,
did
Ken.
not.
Thank you for the
if she just
100.
was
Thank you.
totally honest about it and said, I did
really
not
is, Ken.
anticipate this, and this is too much for me. I don't think anybody would falter. Be like, look, okay, cool. Just step out of the way. Let the next person
Ego.
hop in. Yeah, I agree. I
Ego.
think it's
It
totally
would
ego.
also shine a light on where they think the violence is coming from, which a lot of people are still in denial about.
I think you're right about the denial. I don't think that I think that you're right about the denial, but I don't think that her resigning would give anyone any more information. I think the people that believe that, you know, she's intimidated, they know that it's not, you know, right wingers doing it. Everyone knows that it's not people on the right that are intimidating her. There's been no consequential. Or
you know, Kagan's here too, being like, well, I also get there. It's like, oh, shut up. It's so
Yeah.
fake. You look at the violence that we get politically, and it's always leftists.
Yeah.
What
It is,
just
yeah.
happened in Maine? A bunch of leftists attacked a journalist.
Yeah.
And it's like on the news, and they're like, journalists attacked by leftists. Like, yeah, okay. Well, it's like not even news anymore because it's just the given.
Kagan saying that reminds me of AOC saying it. It's like she does have, you know, she has security concerns, but it's not really, it's not about politics. It's mostly like dudes that are creepy and weird that are you know, making remarks about AOC. People like Alex Stein that are more, you know, more.
Also, like, guys, like, security threat Alex Stein, dude. Alex Stein is just fucking around. He's not gonna kill AOC or anything like that. He's just trolling, right? That's like not the same as like people who actually want you to die.
Offended by something.
Energetic, yeah, exactly. So I don't think that. I mean, I would like to see. Happens to be the case. I would like to see her step down, but I don't see that happening.
Of course not.
The appointment to the SCOTUS is a lifetime appointment. She's not going to. She'll
Zero
just
chance. Zero
She'll just ride the middle.
Yeah, she's going to try and just do the least amount possible.
Yep.
Say nothing and just hide.
Yep.
Yeah, she should resign. Well, let's jump to this next story that we got from CNBC.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, she should definitely resign if that's the case. I agree with them 100%.
This is Dickman Butt Pride, rainbow painted on the sky. Dickman Butt acceptance growing, watch our spirits fly so high.